Hey, clashes, clan capital domination from the rank 1 clan in Germany, because if you take a look at the rankings, you can see they are easily in the top 10 in the global leaderboards, and rank 1 in Germany. Just ignore the troll clan. I don't know, maybe there a couple of minutes ago, as you can see in the thumbnail, they were not in the German leaderboard just yet. Kind of strange that you can change that, but it is whatever. So let's just take a look at the ranking like this. The rank 1 clan and rank 2 clan high school, they are dominating the German leaderboards, and we want to take a look at a couple of their attacks and see what we can learn from them. Is it just the classic graveyard hog rider spam, or is there anything fancy in there? I want to find out because I'm truly interested in see and learn from the best clans out there. So let's dive into it. But before we're diving into that, I want to share with you how their raid weekend information looks like, because they said already they're not too happy with this weekend, but overall it looks to me really impressive. I mean, except one raid, their lowest or their highest score was 18 attacks they needed for other clan capital. There's only one raid which was above that, which is 20. Their defense as well is looking incredible. I mean, let's take a look at that. Nearly 30 on average, with like some clans needing quite a few of attacks. 41, are you kidding? Then 37, then 28, 26. So I think it's like an average of 30 or something like that. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy how good their defenses are, especially considering, I can show you that again, because especially considering their upgrades, they are not even close to being maxed out. So considering all of that, their defense looks impressive, but I think we should jump into the attacks because this is what everyone is interested in. Let's start with the district, which most of us typically are taking down within 2 attacks, because this village, the Wizard Valley, is not having too many splash buildings. But then for the top clans, the goal is not to take it down in 2 attacks, it's more like take it down in 1 attack. And this is what we tried to do in this one. We have a couple of those skeleton barrels around the bottom side, some hog rats around the top side, and I think the most crucial thing which we can take away from this attack is the spell usage. We can see that he is starting things off with 1 graveyard spell early on the right side. But as soon as all of that is clear, he is delaying another graveyard spell. He is now using that for the defending cannon cards, because Supercell by now has nerfed the graveyard spell quite a couple of times. It's kind of funny that it's still the most broken spell in the clan capital, but that is a different topic, okay? But with having the changes to the graveyard spell, what does this mean? It means that the skeleton amount overall which is getting generated each attack is now lower. What does this do? Well, it means pretty much that you should not drop all of your graveyard spells early on in the attack. You should always go more strategic, more surgical about them, and try to delay a couple of them to really make your way slowly through the base, exactly as showcased here. And then, since we have talked about the spells, let's talk about the spell placement. Put it in the skeletons, by the way, but let's take a look at this heal spell. This is insane placement-wise. I mean, this heal spell is going to carry the entire attack. The hog rats are even covered at the air defense. I mean, if this is not a perfect placement, I don't know what could be. Now, the wizard tower is taken care of. The last couple of buildings are going down. And with that being said, this is a wizard valley which is going down within 1 attack. Quite impressive in my opinion. There's still a lot of bombs around the top side, but those hog riders were healthy enough because of that heal spell to make them survive all of those small bombs. And this means this village is taken care of within 1 attack. But that was the Wizard Valley, which is one of the easier villages. Now let's take a look at one of the hardest districts within the clan capital. And this is an approach which I will 100% try to somehow copy from my own attacks, because this looks just so cool. So what exactly is he doing in this one? First of all, he is trying to kinda work his way around the base with slowly but surely taking down every super dragon post after each other. Then he is going to use the graveyard spells again to slowly tank the important defenses and the super dragons, for example, while all of the other defenses are getting tanked with the flying fortress. This is overall the setup of the strategy, and this is what just works so well. So we can see the first graveyard spell was placed to distract the first Super Dragon. The next graveyard spell is used to distract the next Super Dragon. And then another graveyard is getting used to distract the single Inferno Tower. Because as soon as that's going to lock onto your Flying Fortress, that wouldn't be the best thing to happen. If it happens though, you still have the lightning spell to reset the Inferno Tower to make sure your Flying Fortress is going to stay alive for as long as possible. Now we can see as well that he's slowly adding those Inferno Dragons. The Inferno Dragons are getting added, and in addition to that, he's always using the ramps. Why is he doing that? Well, with always opening up the compartments, which are not relevant for the air attack, you are going to increase your deployment area. Why is that an important thing? Well, pretty simple. Because with that, you can waste more strategically, deploy more troops later on to really specifically target defenses to take them out with your Skeleton Barrel or for your Inferno Dragons. After that, we can see already he has taken down quite a few of those key defenses. And now within the next attack, he is going to repeat that same approach to make sure that he can take it out. So let's just speed forward. Let's take a look at, again, how the next attack looks like, because I just think it's quite cool overall to see this setup, because I have not seen that often. Most of the time I just see sneaky archers versus this type of Dragon Cliff, and that's pretty much it. But with this one, it's different. Again, same approach, okay? It's the same approach. He has the Flying Fortress, and he is going to protect that with different spells, supportive troops, and then obviously with the timings of the placement of all of his troops. So right now, he's just taking out the first couple of defenses. The damage of that blast bow isn't too crazy. So he can like wait until his Flying Fortress get a bit further into the base, already deploying the next graveyard spells. And how is he doing that? Well, he is again making sure that the defending Super Dragons are tanked. In addition to that, defending Single Inferno Tower should be tanked as well. Keep adding those Inferno Dragons, keep adding those Skeleton Barrel to make sure that everything is going down, and just overwhelm the defense, because if we zoom out, we can see this huge wave of air skeletons flying in and trying to take over, and eventually going to tank again for your Flying Fortress. Those two Super Dragons at the bottom side are going to take that defending Super Dragon out, and with that now, it's only the last defending Super Dragon left, where we can again wait until some more skeletons are getting spawned. Super Dragon can be used right here. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't the greatest, and this attack is now going to turn out way closer than it should have been. But if you time that Inferno Dragon perfectly, you can see already how tanky this Flying Fortress is and how well this strategy can work versus those type of Dragon Cliff bases. Just work your way around and make sure you're just having this one main Flying Fortress, which is supposed to tank all of the non-key defenses. You can tank air defenses, you can tank you can tank air bombs, for example, and so on. On this one, it was a bit close, we have to say that, but again, he's still making the job getting the 3-star over here. But now there's one more district we want to take a look at, which is the Capital Peak. And there we go, Capital Peak, non-default layout, and let's take a look at what exactly we're going to witness. It's going to be a common approach with Hog Riders and with Graveyard spells to really make sure that you get the most value in the beginning. With that being said, we can see how he's using the battle ram to really make sure that first, traps are getting triggered, and second of all, already a lot of skeletons are getting spawned. And take a look at that on the left side. This rock artillery was not covered by pretty much anything. With that being said, again, this means this entire key defense is taken care of with this one single spell. At the same time, he's just keep adding those Hog Riders or Hog Gliders to make sure that he's pushing further and further into the base. And all what he's doing right now, he's trying to prepare then the base for the next attack. Because at this point, I mean, when I saw this attack the first time, I was like, okay, this looks pretty solid as an opening. This looks really, really good. But if you think about that now, if this would have been your own attack, I would have went in and would have said, okay, next attack, I will go for that and that key defense. And then I will say, okay, the third attack is going to be quite overkill. I will just use Flying Fortresses, whatever. So this base, this district is going to be taken care of within 3 attacks. Well, it's different if you're part of one of the best clans in the world, then you're going to have different approaches. So let's take a look at how exactly the second attack is going to turn out, because right now I can just speed through everything because it's all about just cleaning things up. We have a couple of skeletons still working, which is not too interesting. So let's just dive into the next attack and see how we can somehow take this out in 2 attacks. 33% in the first one. And now let's take a look at this wild combination which he has in here. He is going to use, again, Wall Wrecker. He's going to use the rams to make sure that he can open the first compartment. And then the next one is going to open up the town hall, like the key defense. That being said, something I was not really taking consideration is how strong the P.E.K.K.A. is. So what he does right now, he's going to send in the P.E.K.K.A. and this P.E.K.K.A. is going to distract the town hall, is going to distract the rocket artillery, and is going to take down the town hall as well, which is quite nice. I mean, this is incredible. Then again, the next thing which he does, and this is, I think, the big takeaway for everyone out there which wants to improve in the clan capital, and that is the spell timing on those graveyard spells. Again, take a look at that. He only used one of those graveyards just yet. All of the other remaining graveyard spells were from the first attack. Remember that. They were from the first attack, and what he does now is he's going to delay that because he wants to distract the back end. And why is he doing it? Why is he delaying it? Well, because there's only a limited amount of skeletons which can get spawned, and he wants to make sure that they're getting spawned when it's important, when he can distract those last couple of defenses, like the Super Dragon, like the Blast Bow. And he does not need those defenses being distracted while he's going in from the top side. He needs them distracted when he's about to finish off this base. And this is like all about those really nice timings with those graveyard spells. He's using a giant to tank the back end as well. More skeletons are getting generated, and now we have the Inferno Dragons trying to take down that last remaining Super Dragon. Is not really working, but again, he has just so many troops left that is going to be a 3-star, no problem whatsoever. So overall, really, really impressive seeing those pros attack in the clan capital and how creative and how many different troops there are. I think the only thing which looks kind of stable, like which looks pretty much always the same, I think is the biggest thing, and that is just the graveyard spell. I know a lot of you will hate me for saying that, but I feel like another nerf wouldn't hurt, or just buff the other spells. But right now it just feels like the graveyard spell is just so much stronger than the other ones. But either way, I love the creativity, especially in that last attack, having so many different moving pieces together, which is super impressive. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you would like to see more Clan Capital content in the future on this channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.